Guru team, welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Bonneyville. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are joining me, hit that like and why not subscribe, because neither of those things will cost you a penny and they do help me more than you can possibly imagine. Anyway, here we are, and yeah, I mean, we're heading into the final furlongs, really. I mean, I say that. Obviously, as I've said before, our stated goal is not to show it that way around, it's to show it that way. There's no brain work like fridge or something. I don't understand how it chooses ascending and descending. Because it doesn't make sense to me, so I get confused. Anyway, El Puerto, you little dog. I can't get you over 500. Tomalosa is back up again. Arrecife is climbing. Rivas is looking good. We've got a few of the other bigger places. We've got the 3 small places still thinking about it. The growth is fine. We're getting some very very poor emissions, which is not great. Everything else is very good, which is great, which is super. So we do have growth. Will we get enough growth? I don't think we're going to get the small ones over 1,000. I think maybe these 4 in the middle and do beta. So maybe we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10 over 1,000. I think it's gonna be very hard to get these 3 at the bottom. Can I not count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, what am I missing? 3. Oh, Palencia. Yeah, Palencia's about 800. I think Palencia might make it. So there you go. So how are we going to achieve that? Well, let's also talk about our airports. These are our airports. They're not exactly thriving. They're not exactly super busy. So that may be because there's relatively good transport links already between these places. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Like I've said, in this game, unlike City Skylines, we don't get to select the cost to the commuter. So if we wanted to force people onto planes, we could make planes very cheap and we could make buses and trains very expensive, or vice versa. I'm not exactly sure how the game sims calculate which is the best way to get there. So they're like, well, is it worth my time hopping on the bus, going out here, getting on the plane, going over here, hopping on the bus, going over here, or should I just get the train down here and the train up there? I don't know. I don't know how the sim works that out. I did think maybe it might be a good idea to throw a small one over here, and because Ubaid is quite far removed from everybody, and see if that works a little bit better. So we'll likely try that out at some point during this episode. But what I wanted to bring you in while we're talking about getting to the final furlongs is, and I do know I talk a lot. People have said, you talk a lot. Why is the game not playing? Well, because there's a lot to talk about. I'm not here for you to watch me do stuff. Trust me, especially on this game. A lot of what's happening over here. Excuse me, sirs and madams. What's going on? We've got a jam. We've got a log jam. What's happening? What's happening with you two? One of you kids is broken. So why are you here? Who are you? You are a train in the wrong place. This has started happening more frequently, and it's really, I think the game is having a bit of a conniption. Because everybody's in the right place except for this guy, and you can see here that he's just stopped. So he's not at a signal. Oh, he is at a signal. Why is there a signal there? That's an odd place to have a signal. Who put that there? Who put that signal there? Put that light out! That shouldn't be there. Did I delete the right one? I did. How many other signals are there? Why is that signal there? When did I do this? I'm blaming the train, and it turns out it's my brain that's the problem here. Right. So he's there's no signal on this line. Wait, what? I don't see a signal on this line. Like right out to there. There should be. How have I been running this long without a signal out there? And then there should be a signal on this over here. And a signal. This might explain why why some things have been going a little bit awry. That's weird. I never realized that I had that issue. Look, there's a signal there. You, sir, are in the wrong place. They've been in their old signals. They've been in there for a heck of a long time. Oh, I see. There's a crossover line there. Look at that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll put you back, and I'll delete you. But you can go away. Right. Where are we? Signals. We were talking about signals. Signal, and there's a signal. Right. Okay. So. Are you gonna go now? Go now. He is, very slowly, but he will get there. But, Ubeda Palencia Freight. He shouldn't be there. Is this broken again? Ubeda Palencia Freight. He's supposed to come in here. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? They periodically have done this. Where you can see that he goes around the entire loop, and it drives me mad. Ubeda, so you are coming in. He's not even meant to be on that line. Why is he even on that line? What is going on? What is going on? This in particular, for some reason, the Rivas station is a problem. I don't know what I did or have not done when I put this down, but it's been buggy since a long, long time. Now, I've been through here and checked these lines, and all of these lines connect correctly. And I've been through here and checked all of these lines, and all of these lines connect correctly. But for some reason, these two lines in particular hate this station. They won't go back. Like, they're happy to come this way, but they won't go back. Now, is it an issue over here? Can they not get back? Because they're supposed to be able to transfer over here. And is that it? There's no cross transfer. There's no cross transfer, so that's the issue. So the issue is he's coming in here on this side, but he can't get over. Right. That may be because I changed. I changed the line. Right. Let me do this, and then I'm back, and I was wrong. No, I don't need to cross this guy over. I mean, fine, I've put a crossover in there, and that's okay. But I have no idea what is going on. This line is just, I'm going to have to delete it and start again. Because something's not working right. It is just absolutely driving me bananas. If you have a look at it, there's nothing stopping this guy from coming back. But he's not even coming in here. He's supposed to come from Ubeda, right? He's supposed to come from Ubeda, and he's not. Why is he not coming from Ubeda? What's the problem? Is it this side? Is this side the problem? Let's have a look, because this has been driving me mad for a while, and I need to be able to figure this out. He's the Ubeda freight line, which is this one. He's not heading out this way. I moved him over here, and this line here. So he's on the outer line. So he can't get into the inner line. Is that the issue? That's the issue. Right, let's try that and see. Gosh, every time you change something, It's like the Matrix. Every time you change something, something else gets broken. So we should be able, in theory, because I've done it before, is to cross over even through a gap. So we can cross over through a gap. Where's that doohickey? Right, and we can delete that because we don't need that. Adjust the signals because we know if we don't get the signals right, everything falls apart. There's a train coming in this way. Right? Right, let's see now. Does that solve the problem? Beta Palencia Freight. Oh gosh, does it ever? There you go, that was the issue. Heavens above. Right, that'll get him from wherever he is and sort out my plastics. Because it's like, why is this place backing up with plastics? I've actually put this in. Oh! Which reminds me, look at this. Ooh, we got big trucks. It's a big 10-4, rubber ducky. Right, so that's something we've been doing. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. So, gas bagging on again. Right. You remember I was telling you. So what's the point? So the point is right. We need to get all these goods to these places to get them to grow bigger and better and faster. And our receipt's on the up, right? So eventually it's going to hit 1,000, and I'm good with that. And we're getting enough food, and we're not getting enough bricks, and we're not getting enough tools, and we're not getting enough fuel. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is, right, that this is getting all the oil it needs, but it won't go up a level. It's transporting 100% of stuff that it's currently making, but it won't go up a level until you get all three things maxed out: production, shipment, and transport over 900. Now, because this game currently is demand driven, you need to convince the fuel refinery that there's enough demand so that it will go up a level, and that demand is through shipment. So the way you increase shipment is if you tab over here, you have all the possible places on the map that fuel is required, right? So you've got all of these towns require fuel. You need to connect the refinery to all of these towns, and then you need to ensure that you're shipping as much as you can to these towns to convince the refinery to go up a level. That's why I refer to this as a demand-driven supply chain, right? Which I guess is kind of true to real life, right? Companies just don't set up and produce masses of stuff and then wait for people to buy it. They get the orders in and then they fill the orders. They get more orders, they get bigger, and that's fine. It's not clear from the recent dev blog for Transport Fever 3 if that's going to be the same case, because they've said that when companies make product, they're going to keep that product on their site until it's needed, and then you can also ship it to warehouses and ship it from warehouses to other places. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work on Transport Fever 3 based on the dev blogs, but anyway, that's what we currently face. So it doesn't matter how much I'm supplying here, and it doesn't matter how many trucks I'm running to Antequera. If the need in Antequera, or indeed Arrecife, which requires a lot, if that can't be met by the current level of production, which is 900, then I need to find a way to increase that production so that everybody's getting what they want. And the way you do that is through the shipment side of things, right? So that's what I've been doing. So everywhere around the map that's a sort of like an end goods supplier that's supplying to the cities, I've been through and done that. So where you say it says transport 100%, that means we're getting 100% of the stuff to El Puerto. Where there's a gap at the minute means that it's not fully realized. I've set it up in the last couple of years, and it hasn't quite caught up with everything being delivered to everywhere it needs to be delivered to. And that's all fine. That's a work in progress. So, but that's what my next 30 years work in progress is going to be. So if we switch on the, I think it's the bus and tram stops, and is it depots? No, it's not depots. Is it that? Yeah, it's that. So you have a look here and you see that what we've got here is an awful lot of stuff that needs shipped, and that's great. We're now getting to the stage where we need to say, well, okay, we need to tweak some of the train lines. We need to tweak some of the trains. We need to get more trains moving some stuff around, because we have an awful lot of goods that are now getting from A to B. They're being produced, but they're not getting to their final destinations, right? I'm worried that this oil is going up quite a lot. We probably need to cut back on the oil trucks again. Otherwise, we're going to end up with yeah, we do have an awful lot of oil trucks in here. Who is this? Oil supply trucks. Is it oil or crude that's backing up? It's oil, isn't it? Because there's no crude coming out of here. So we'll get rid of like 10 of those, because that's way too many. So we need to slow that down. So yeah, so that's what we need to do, and that's what we want to do. To enable some of that stuff to happen, I mean, you've seen it here. I've had to add in lots more truck depots. So I've added in additional truck depots. I haven't done it in Revis, but I have done it in Ubeda. So I've put in additional stuff here, because we need to make sure that we're getting everything supplied to everywhere, which means we need to add in some more autosave truck lines to make sure that things are getting done. This is not quite big enough. I'm using the wee trucks because I wanted to see if it was going to be profitable. It looks like it is, so that's fine, and that's all well and good. So I've got all these truck depots that are functioning and trying to take some of the strain off this. You can see how busy this place is with trucks and stuff. So that's where we are, and that's what we're doing, and that's what's happening. So the trains, before we get stuck into the trains side of things, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around and I'm going to have a look particularly at like my primary producers. So we've got these primary producers, and there's 33 vehicles there, and we now have this thing. Now, we've been using the MAN tarpaulin truck, which is an 80 kilometers an hour, loading speed of 4, emissions is 73. The thing is, this is a loading speed of 2, which is a lot slower. And this is 17, so this is carrying 8 more. Travels at the same speed on the road. Is it worth changing over to this? I don't actually know. It's a lot more expensive. That I do know. And it does take a little bit of time. You know where I have been using it? I have been using it down here in Arrecife. Down here, picking up logs. So he's picking up logs here. And here comes the other one. These cargo depots are just, they're not really designed for this kind of thing. He's full, but not moving. Jeez, it took you an age to move. Whereas this guy, where are you? He's already gone. So let's see, this guy's going to take a while. Yeah, I mean, I think we could have got 2 of those small trucks in the same time. So I'm not actually convinced that this big truck is worth it. Maybe even more than 2. I mean, I think that these guys are effectively holding me up. So I'm going to actually just get rid of those. Because I don't think that it's actually a good value for money proposition to have those big trucks. That said, we have lines. I put in the little dinky trucks. Toot toot. Um, we have lines where we have a lot of big trucks waiting. So how I've set this up is that these lines now wait to be filled. So rather than driving the trucks around and around empty, clogging up the roads and the junctions, I wait for them to be filled. So where we have these trucks waiting, sort of say, is this, and it's kind of hard because it's partially dependent, obviously, on trains, because when the trains drop stuff off, so these guys are the bricks trucks. So we're heavily reliant on the bricks trains, and then the bricks trains come in, they dump a whole load of bricks, and then it takes these guys, a short amount of time to get the bricks out here. But if we make these trucks smaller, will it be worth? But then we have this, which is clearly some. There's too many trucks happening here. So I'm gonna go round and just have a quick tweak of all of the bus lines, and I might do that just in time lapse, and then I'll bring you in, and we'll have a quick look at some of the train stuff, shall we? So you sit still and enjoy some music. Right, there you go. Glad you enjoyed that. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. So look, there's a little bit of balancing going on, obviously, and as I've said to you before, This game is about dynamic balance, not just balance. So right, so it seems like most of the hubs. I had tried those larger trucks. They're too slow. Those Peterbilt trucks. They're just too slow in terms of loading time. Um, so we're staying with man trucks for now. So what do we need to do, and what's the sort of thing that we need to work on now? So what we need to work on is trains. So we've got a lot of stuff kind of backing up. Particularly here, look at this Ubeda Arrecife freight. Now, one of the things to consider and the issue to consider is just exactly how many trains there are. I have the trains like set on so I can always see them, because if there's going to be a problem like the problem that was over here, it's gonna come up in trains, and it's gonna cause me a nightmare, and it's gonna back everything up, and then everything fails. So we're currently yeah, we're currently kind of up and down on everybody. That's fine. If anybody shows signs of like dropping off, like Revis is kind of a bit up and down. There's something going on at Ubeda, and so on. So you just need to be aware of that. So yes, we have a lot of goods here that want to go places. How are we going to get them to go there without breaking too many things? So RSC Fantiquera, there's an awful lot of goods waiting to be shifted. So Arrecif is picking up the goods, and the balance on goods is 100%. So what's the size of my train on goods? Well, one of them's 7, one of them's 7 and 16, one of them's 3 and 10. So I've replaced one of these. So RSC Fantiquera isn't too bad, but we probably need more goods. So let's start with the smaller one first. So we start with the smaller one first. 234 capacity, 240 meters. How far can we push it out? Because the other thing is that we need to possibly increase the size of the station. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I think each one of these is about 50 meters, and I say that because I've got other trains that are 400 meters long, and they fit on there. So I reckon we can comfortably go to 400 meters. So if this is backing up here, and we can comfortably go to 400 meters, what we need to say is, well, we're probably doing okay with the timber. We've got a little bit. Well, we've got one at 16 and one at 10, so 26, and that's doing fine. So that's like 13 each. So let's assume we can go 13 each on this. So let's do the timber first, because it's probably less of a problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we will push this out to about 415 meters. Right, so that takes us to 11. So that might be a little bit more of a reliable number based on the amount of stuff that's backing up. So I said for this one, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we'll push this out to there. Yeah, right. So that's also what I have to do for all of my train lines. And if I have a look, we have 56 train lines. So I've got to have a look through 56 train lines and determine whether or not I need to change those trains. So once again, why don't you guys sit back and have a cup of coffee, and I might just do the same briefly, and then we'll go round and we'll have a look at all of those, shall we? I'll see you in a minute. Right. Well, there we are, back again. So I've made. I'll just put that on pause, just because there's a whole load of vehicles that I'm going to need to go around and replace. But now I know it's a straightforward replacement. So for the next few years, all I'm going to really be doing is straightforward replacement. There's some things that I don't want to mess around with just yet, and there's some things that take time to bed in. You don't want to jump too soon and make assumptions. You're like, okay, you may have had a snarl up, just because the trains are running at like 80-90% capacity, the lines. Um, I think, isn't there a way to like determine how busy each of the lines are? So there's not track speed limits. Station street traffic emissions. Nah, there's no real way to. But anyway, the game is, every time I try and use some of these layers, I'm terrified that the game is going to crash. Especially anything to do around Reva's train station. Like I say, for some reason Reva's train station doesn't like me, and I'm really worried trying to change things is going to crash the game. So anyway, we're at that point. Yeah, there's some things I don't want to change. So, for example, this one here, I've said before, we've overloaded this station with crude oil. I don't need to move all that oil. I'm not going to move all that oil. So what I'm doing is I'm slowing down the supply to there. It's not a problem. We're supplying enough to the places we need to supply it for now. So I just need to slow that down a little bit. There's also a food issue over here. I need to get an awful lot more food to Villa de Cans. I can't do it with the current trains. The current trains are running at max capacity for other things, so I can't make them any longer without lengthening the stations. Lengthening Ubeda Station and Villa de Cans Station is a mammoth task because they're both major hubs. So I need to have a think about that. And I can't run a train line around this side of the map because there's so many trains running through Rivas, and I can't run any more trains through this side of the map because there's so many trains running through the Villa de Cans area and this hub over here. So I might have to honestly seriously think about an overland route, which is like monstrous. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how effective that would be. I need to figure out some way to get food to Villa de Cans. Maybe I can ship food down this line and then ship food through that way. It'll require a little bit of thought to think about that one, so it's not something I can do right now. Everything else is working fine. Everything else is working fine. Right. Should we chuck in this airport? I think we're going to start with a small one. Because I don't see a massive need to do something major on this one, so I think we're going to stick with a small one for now.